And I'm glad I was actually able to get the pictures of the blockage, the blocks, and the artificial construction that this site truly is. Maybe it's geopolymer, maybe it's cast, maybe it's carved, but either way, it appears to be symmetrically stacked blocks throughout. Just very heavily eroded. Interesting anomaly here. Kind of looks like a face within it, doesn't it? Could be. Here is definitely what appears to be a human bone, maybe arm or something, leg bone. Not sure. It was something else. Yeah, there's definitely a few squattermans in the petroglyphs throughout this site. Some much better examples in the areas that are cordoned off that I wasn't able to access on this trip, but that I will be going to see and document this summer. And it's just the scale and size of this site is awe-inspiring. And this is like maybe 1% of it, of the overall site that you've seen so far, probably not even. And just on one side of the river, where the south side Badlands and Ruins look exponentially more intriguing. It looks like ruins. It looks like a devastated, destroyed, melted former civilization. And I believe presenting evidence supporting exactly that. It also looks like there's tunnels and caves and potential underground dwellings or rooms in the top portion cliffs or ridge line on the south bank as well. Definitely going to have to spend at least a day on the south side when we go back this year. Just so many geological anomalies, to put it mildly. Oh yeah, Gerald, you're going and you're coming. I'm going back with you. I'm like, this kind of looks a little bit like a pyramidal structure. Definitely got what appears to be blockwork making it up. And that's what we see layered throughout all of these structures. Like, that's pretty pyramid-like right there. Very, very interesting suspect structure right here. And then possible astrological alignment there. Be interesting if the sun appears in the center of it right now, being just after the equinox. That's most likely the time that it would be captured in there. Definitely looking pyramidal. And all of them with what appear to be these parallel structured block segments. Oh, here I was digging out the bone a bit, some of the bones. investigating, but left it out of respect for whoever, whatever life that was before. All right, here's another prime site example of what appear to be constructed blocks and a couple of potential faces. So here, now I can show specifically, here are the swallow nests. And you can see that these swallows are building their nests on the outside of the rock. They are not digging out, hollowing out little cave dwellings. They're doing the exact opposite, building outside of the rock structure, and thus not the ones responsible for all of the holes throughout this site. Now the potential faces, also potential pareidolia, up to you. But this side, I feel, is where the real gems are most likely hiding and hidden, and probably tunnels and chambers throughout all of these structures and ruins. Another interesting fact about writing on stone badlands in this whole area was that it was where the indigenous native resistance resided, and that the RCMP, the British and Canadian authorities, weren't able to ever conquer it or quell it, and they had to build ranger posts and outposts on both sides, the entrances and exits of these badlands and these hoodoo sites, because they were unable to actually go in and capture it by force. So thus also adds to the mystery as well as possibility of there being underground tunnels, chambers, hideouts, and dwellings within this site. Again, you can see lots of very block-like structures and formations. And again, what must have been a heck of a cataclysm to wipe out and do that sort of damage. Maybe plasma catastrophe, maybe nuclear, maybe solar, maybe even just ocean tsunami and submerging. Not sure, but something really damaged to destroy this. Once again, more swallow nests, clearly on the outside of the sandstone, not on the inside whatsoever. Yes, they're using nooks and crannies, but no, they're not digging. They're literally building on the outside. Also, this led into an underground area that seemed cavern quite large, but I wasn't gonna try to go in. Easily collapsed right next, kind of close to the river. Yeah, but still a decent distance up from the actual water table level. More very interesting anomalous geology, and what seems to be like either a melting in a lot of areas, what appears to be kind of like dripping outer casing or layer, or possible even just plaster cement applied to hide and cover up what could be clearly defined natural builds. I'm not sure, clearly speculating there, but it prevalent in most of the well-traveled areas of this park. Surprising, there's just this weird drippy, what looks like outer shell casing, and then straight blocks, sandstone blocks behind it. It's very, very suspect, to say the least. Not really well, kind of illustrated there. You can see, like, you have the lines, and then it, I guess maybe could just be eroded away. But lots of what looks like blocks throughout. And like, look at this one. That looks like a straight wall and wall and wall. Like, that looks like a building. Does it not? Am I crazy here? Am I seeing things? Or does that actually look like a wall coming onto another wall that was wiped out and destroyed? Not sure, but very, very interesting site. Again, potential blocks. Very large ones there. I don't know, but very, very suspect site. And of course, maybe not all, maybe just portions could be constructed amongst natural formations, or maybe it's all just was buildings. I don't know. Could be a combination of both. Whatever it is, there's definitely been severe damage and thousands, if not tens of thousands of years of natural weathering on top of it, right? So it seems, see, like, look at this. This looks like the intact block, and then over here was like melted away, like blasted potentially. Could be like just 90-degree angle symmetry blocks here, and then corroded on this side. Like, I'm not sure. Simply speculating. Let me know what you think. And if you want to explore this site yourself, get a hold of me, and we are making plans to go back this summer and do a full exploration of this site and spend a couple days here at least. I'd like to spend a week even, but that might be a bit much. Who knows, though? Depends on the funds, really. Hopefully I can, right? Like, that shot looked like Cappadocia. Like, there's so many. Thank you. I'm glad others also see it, because I see it all over this site. It's crazy. And as you can see here, like, I'm barely coming up like maybe 15-20% height of some of these structures, and there's other areas where they're like double the size. It's such a wild, weird, wondrous, mysterious spot location, and it goes on for literally 100 kilometers, I believe, throughout. And every which way you look, there's just massively anomalous geology. Takes the breath away every time. Can't wait to get back here or back there. Hopefully in June, coming up in just a couple months, 3 months time. Depends on my financial situation. Hopefully I'm able to find some more permanent work here ASAP. Currently trying to find me a job. My last job company shut down, went bankrupt. Government just marijuana industry, the legal cannabis, they just the most ridiculous rules and regulations I've ever seen, and it ended up costing my employer his company. Oh, Calix, thank you for the support. Continued support, I should say. Always appreciated. Everything helps. Everything adds up in the end. But as continue looking, like, so there, that shot showing what actually appears to be some legitimate erosion here compared to everything else. And so this is the top stone, and then all the others, it's sandstone blocks. It's not eroding like that. You can clearly see blockage. And another video. Okay. The videos continue, and I will be uploading most of these to my short section of my channel. Some of them already up, but most of them I have yet to. I kind of tend to agree with Raycar. I suspect it was plasma that originally like melted, scorched, vitrified a lot of the stone that we see, and then most likely after that event was the tsunami, great flood, cataclysm. I suspect there was multiple. There's been many different cataclysms throughout Earth's history, and I personally subscribe and believe in the 5 eras theory, or I guess native legends as well, but that the 5 suns or the 5 ages of man, or however it goes, but that there's been several different cataclysms throughout Earth's history. Oop, camera. There we go. Just the straight lines over and over and over in these sites, like it just, I don't see nature doing that. Like it looks like the ruins of East Asia, of Turkey, of throughout Pakistan, throughout Afghanistan, throughout Iran and Syria. We see stuff like this all over, and they're called former castles and forts and cities. And then they find like 10-story deep cities underneath the sites in Turkey that look just like this. And it would, of course, like these are, I guess many of the blocks essentially are on the Bellbeck scale of megalithic size and tonnage, and then there's many like normal megalith size blocks as well. Oh, thank you, Reality. I will have to check that out. Yes. Sorry, got sidetracked. Back to the photos. Just so anomalous, in that they claim swallows made these holes when clearly I've shown that swallows build nests on the outside, not dig and burrow into the stone. And like, why would they burrow on ground level? It makes zero sense. More likely, these are functional architecture and engineering remnants of whatever the function of this site used to be, probably holding up poles, roofs, walls, stuff like that. Most definitely. Like, you put a couple of trees, I guess logs, branches across, and then you can easily put hides, felts, roofs over your head, right? Tents, camping. Most likely for the most recent inhabitants slash inheritors of this location. But just everywhere you look, it does not come across as natural. It feels artificial, and it looks artificial, and it resembles so many other megalithic ancient sites and ruins around the world. Interesting. Very, very anomalous. Every which way you look. Right? So here you see, this almost looks like brickwork almost. Here, clearly what resembles block. Is this scorching here, potentially? Like, this easily could have been mud brick, sandstone brick, and block. Resembling structures. Just, if someone can explain in a rational manner how natural erosion could create such a thing. And glad others saw faces in here too, right? Like, probably there's, by my count, I counted over 50 different faces that I encountered and saw throughout my explorations, my initial exploration of this site, and probably hundreds, if not thousands, throughout, if they are actual faces and not pareidolia. But I don't think it's pareidolia at this point. It's just, it's layered. It's one, two, like all these straight parallel lines and sections. Like, it's almost terraced, but definitely appearing to be built structurally, block by block, segment by segment, not eroded into. It doesn't make sense with the official narrative. Like, look at that. It just, it's melted blocks. What else? How else can this be described? Am I crazy? Seeing some faces too, but I'll leave that up to all of you. What are we actually looking at? Like, how does nature just erode perfect parallel line segment after perfect parallel line segment after perfect parallel line segment, and then 90-degree cracks between them? Like, no, like that just, that's not how it breaks. That's not the cleavage of the sandstone. Like, you don't have 90-degree, 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 90-degree segments, intersections everywhere. Like, it doesn't make sense. I believe. No wonder no wonder it's called a fairy chimney. Like, that is literally a chimney stack. Or looks like a chimney stack, at least. Are petrodactyls real? I think I encountered one. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to go with probably. I also see lion faces on several sections of the site that I've shown so far. It seems to be a reoccurring theme at Writing Stone, and, well, all over the world, really. Right? It's like, or instead of the oceans and land sinking and falling that much, maybe a giant tsunami could have carried the sea life into that lake and left it there. Potentially. Yeah, sadly, I believe they do exist, and they belong in jail, or, well, they just don't belong at all, because, well, yeah. Anyways, let's not get into that. Let's get back to the anomalous writing on stone, Badlands. Petroglyphs. Yeah, petroglyphs. Petroglyphs are real. Well, so they claim. But they do exist at this site. I tend to believe they're aging, but who really knows? There could be some faces up there. Definitely what looks like block-like structure throughout. Just almost resembles some of like the Aztec Mayan ruins in the jungles too, a little bit like that last one, like this sort of structures. I don't know. Very, very anomalous geology, to say the least. Yeah, I pretty much see faces in every picture, but how about my face? Ah, that's kind of funny. All right. I wish the sound worked. Maybe. Since this is a 10-minute video, I'm going to try reloading it to see if the sound actually works, or if I can get the sound to actually work. Let's see. Please let me know if you can hear the sound this time. No, doesn't appear to be the case. No sound still. Huh. Weird. Well, that sucks that can't hear the sound, but we will continue anyways. Continue on. It was just such a wild, fun experience to be able to traverse through and explore just a portion of this. It was absolutely epic. Just the scope and size. Can't stress enough that these videos do not do it justice, and the actual size of these different Badlands rune structures, I guess they call them hoodoos. But it needs way more study, research, excavation, and exploration, of which I plan to be a part of and go back to this summer. And it will be a YouTube meetup, so anybody and everybody is welcome to join us. Right? Like, I feel that there are what appears to be some scoop marks in some of these stones. And like the holes, I've stated several times, their official story that the swallows make the holes is BS. I do not believe that at all. The swallows build nests on the outside, and how the heck can water pool in those areas to swirl? It's kind of impossible. Thus, it has to be human-made somehow. And like, just look at, like, it's truly wild, anomalous, awe-inspiring sight. Oh, yeah, like they're just, trying to pause it right there. Like you can see several lines of what appear to be blocks every which way. Like, I just don't understand how this could form naturally. And the similarities to Cappadocia, like look at that. That's block it. Like those are blocks. That's a block. No. We'll go back to that way. All right. Continue. Clearly blocks. And potentially some of the holes could be for like poles, for logs or something to like brace for making walls and roofs and structures by the most recent inhabitants, not the original civilization that would have constructed all of this. And like, look, like it's just block after block after block. Like, it doesn't make sense. And beams, exactly. Exactly, Debbie. Welcome, Debbie. So, if you want to come explore, get a hold of me, and June or July, we will be going back here. And it's like, what's actually buried in the hill and beneath all of this? Because they are huge. And yes, many of the larger ones definitely could be windows. Many different pyramidal and cone structures as well. Shapes and stuff. Looks like another face, potentially. Oops. Come on. There we go. Sorry for the slow buffering and skipping video. Sadly, for some reason, my what do you call it? The internet bandwidth is really sucking lately. I don't get it. Don't understand why. It's like I'm using the exact same software, the exact same hardware, and yet it doesn't work like it used to. I don't know, but make and do. Make and do. That's all we can do. There we go. And I also have to stress, like, just the smallest, like, little portion of this site I was able to explore. There's literally 100 more kilometers of this amazingness, anomalous, ridiculous, mesmerizing site. It's in formations, and the ridges on the opposite, the southern bank of the river, seem to be the most anomalous. And yeah, for some reason, it is a no drone fly zone. Yes, that is correct. This epic, amazing, quote unquote, natural site is a no drone zone. Why? Probably because they don't want more evidence being documented of what is really here. That's my guess, but I did take my drone out there to try to operate it for the first time, and then as I brought it out, they were like, "No, no drones," and pointed to the signs, and I had to put it away. And still waiting to use my drone, but plenty of sites to go to this summer with it. And maybe it all depends on the software, right? Because it's like the no drone zones, they literally, because it's all GPS programmed and stuff now, the government's able to block the drones from flying, from even entering these zones. Like, you can physically take the drone there, set it up, hit power, and it won't fly because they've literally blocked it. But that said, possibly on the southern side or the eastern or western edges of the site that aren't part of the official park, yes, I will be trespassing. Am I willing to do it? Probably, just for all of you. But point being, when there's a will, there's a way. We will try to get some drone footage of this place this summer. I didn't do it on my day trip down there this past year, though. Ooh, then it's like, if I upload it, am I gonna get a huge fine and charges? Because they can be like, "Hey, look, there's the evidence." That's an interesting one. I'm gonna have to ponder on that. But for now, we got this footage, and just from it, I think it gives a pretty good, clear impression of what this site actually is. And it is not what they claim it is, that's for sure. And another pyramidal looking structure. And every which way you go, you see blocks and oftentimes faces and animal characters as well into the quote unquote natural rock formations. Definitely not remnants of a former wiped out cataclysm civilization. All right, that's where this video ends. All right. right, back to the pictures. This one. So Cappadocia like. Like, how is that not a megalithic structure? I don't get how that is geology. It looks like potential geopolymer, definitely polygonal, but like this looks like anywhere in the Middle East or Asia, a megalithic rune or site. Yeah. Oh my God, is it not? God, I thought I was sharing pictures the whole time and it wasn't. That's whack. All right. Well, now. All right. Sorry about that. Okay. Now that we got the picture back up, how is this? Sorry, it was it this one? Yeah, this one I was looking at earlier. While I was talking, you couldn't see what the hell I was talking about. There we go. How is that not a megalithic wall? Like, it makes no sense to claim this is natural. Like, it looks like anywhere in Asia, anywhere in the Middle East, Africa, or even South America, any site like this, clearly megalithic, stacked, former civilization. This potential face could be potential sphinx, maybe. I don't know. Something. It appears polygonal. Like, these all definitely could be large enough to be windows within the structure. Like, that's like 5 to 7 stories tall, easily. Like, these are huge structures and heights. Like that looks like runes. This looks like runes. And like that looks like a door. Clearly looks like a door. That one could be a door. That could be a door. That could be a door. Windows throughout. Yeah, or homes for little people. There's legends of little people living in here. Like, and what the heck is that? Like, What is that? Like, what actually is this? Like what the actual F is that? Like, it looks like your classic Afghanistan mountain village. Like that's what that looks like. It looks like you're gonna find a bunch of Taliban or dwarves or hobbits living in tunnels in there. That's what the feel it gives, right? And maybe some giants up above in the background. Not normal at all. About as anomalous of a sight as you can come across. Like, are these giant blocks? I'm not sure. I want to find out. I'm going back. Very A-frame, pyramidal like amongst many of the structures. Just it's fascinating. And I'm going back. And I'm definitely taking the drone. And I'm pretty sure it's not going to let me fly over this area, but I'm definitely going to cross the river and sneak into this area. And then I might have to go further up or further down the river to be able to fly the drone over certain areas. But hopefully those areas won't be covered up and might actually show even more anomalous features. Right? Like, look at all of those holes. Like, what does that? It was be interesting to see how how poles would stick out of the angles of each of those holes, and if there are actual foundation supports for buildings. Potentially. It appears to be stacked block. I don't know if that's actually what it is, but sure what it looks like. Very, very interesting site. Like lots of them resembling pyramidal structures. Like that's looking very pyramidy. That's looking pyramidy. That's looking pyramidy. That's looking like a pyramid almost. Like, what is up in here? Pyramid-y stuff, blocks, megaliths. It has all the classic call signs of a megalithic site. Like, is that carvings or those like engravings on that? Like, what the heck is some of that? It's just weird. That's what we'll be going back to figure out. Piping? Like, I don't know. I really don't know, but intrigues the heck out of me. Want to find out. Going back to explore more. Like, is this potentially scorched areas? Like, look at all this. There's normal sandstone, and then like all this black. Is that burnt? Looks like massive scorching on certain areas. Normal sandstone and what looks like scorched. Looks like massively scorched. Very, very suspect, to say the least. It is all extremely suspect. Like, are these guardians into a door there? Like man and woman almost? Kind of speculating and wishful thinking, but who knows? Worth checking out when I go back. And it's on my other camera. I really, really need to find the video of the cave I found in one of them that I was too afraid to go into. And I don't know, are we looking at a face? Are we looking at another face? Another face, potentially. Doors and windows? Like doors inside to tunnels? What it appears to be. Look at those. Them look like some doors inside. And just absolutely ruined and devastated by something. Like, this looks like structures. Like, that looks like a house. Looks like doors, windows throughout. I am definitely crossing the river to explore that area. But I'm going to have to try to live stream it because who knows? Maybe they're still inhabited. And maybe it's not humans that live in there. Maybe that's why we're not told about the truth of these places. And maybe a dwarf, a fairy, a Sasquatch, or something else gonna come, you know? Hopefully not the case, and hopefully able to make it in and out alive. Always the goal. Don't get kidnapped by Sasquatch. or the forest, or the little forest fellers, right? Interesting. Very interesting. Like, what the heck is this stuff? Like, very, very suspect. Right, exactly. Pack some beef jerky to throw and divert to getting stormed by wild beasts. Like, of course, they don't let you go over to this area. And of course, they don't let you bring a drone to go check out this area. No, that's not allowed because just huge. Absolutely huge. Right? Sasquatch must be from Saskatchewan. Good thing. Yeah. No, I think this is more west. I think this is middle Alberta. So not quite next to the Saskatchewan border here. But this does run for, I believe it's 60 miles, so 100 kilometers. Like, looks like ruins. Looks like the ruins of a former mega city. And everywhere just evidence of block work and potential drilling and very anomalous geology. Very, very anomalous geology. Clearly blocks. Blocks upon blocks. Could be, depending on the angle, be kissing faces. Not sure. So lots of these I'm going to have to go back and take pictures of with different sun angles throughout the day to see if they actually highlight facial features and thus are actually carved intended, not pareidolia that we see. And then, of course, they got barbed wire fence. And as soon as you have the barbed wire fence, you have even more anomalous geology and structures appearing, like instantly. Instantly, the no-go zone. It just, like, why the heck is this blurred? What the, like, why? I took this picture. Why is this certain area not focusing? That's weird. Very weird. Oh, maybe it's in the foreground? No, but then why is that in focus? Why is this focused? It's even further away. That just doesn't make sense. Strange. But regardless, we see even more anomalous structures, formations, and geology as soon as it gets to the you cannot go here areas. It literally goes on for 40 or 50 kilometers that way and 40 or 50 kilometers the opposite way. Oh yeah, let's see. That one was decently anomalous, but don't want you looking in there, and definitely don't want you flying a drone over that, eh? Oh, it goes, right? Like, way more anomalous and suspect formations in the fenced off areas. Got the farmer with the windmill, supposedly, and the native with the teepee. Very, very suspect formations indeed. And then across the river, even more anomalous structures. If you see buildings in faces, please type 1 in the chat. If you think it is just natural erosion, put 2. Let me know what you think. What are we looking at? Just naturally eroded geology here? Oh, just natural, eh? Nothing to it. Nothing to this at all. You would not want to bring your drone over it and fly it around and get video and explore this. No, that's endangering the rocks. How dare you fly a drone over this? Like, this is just what's visible to the public, right? Like, this site is so much larger. And this is only the tip of the metaphorical iceberg that I am showing you here. And I think I'm going to have to go back for a solid week so that I can get in contact with the private landowners next to the park and the boundaries and try to get permission to go through their sites and land, and or at least fly a drone over it, because there are some serious treasures hiding to be found here, I believe. Many discoveries yet to come from, well, what you're looking at and what you're seeing. Because they don't let us go in there, supposedly. Hey, I like the 3. Good to see you, Gold Coast. Yeah, I agree. There is no such thing as pareidolia. Major fault line, not. I do not believe so at all. 0 earthquakes or volcanoes in my area. It's supposedly one of the safest. Resistor. I do agree there's most likely some red bricks in there somewhere. Like, how can there not be with what we're finding? And probably on the other side of the river. More potential faces. And it's like they could be anthropomorphic. I don't think I'm pronouncing that right. Anyways, with half animal, half human as well, right? It doesn't have to just be straight human. We see in a lot of the different ancient megalithic sites, the statues and carvings can be a combination of human and animal. Has there been one structure that you've seen so far that doesn't look like it's made of blocks? Maybe that one. But then you got all these symmetric layers to it. Oh, then we get a closer look, and then you see that it does still look like it's polygonal block. Just every little nook and cranny seems anomalous. I just can't fathom how nature could make something like this. Of course, the God created realm or a simulation or program easily and would most likely create such a wonderful, unique but structured reality. So maybe we are just living in God's Minecraft simulation reality, right? Like that would explain why everything is a block and brick. But I still somehow suspect that it's more than that. There's more to the story than us just living in God's Minecraft simulation. And that these are most likely the ruins of past, previous, prehistorical memory civilizations of Earth. Cataclysms that wiped out the populations that made these a long ago. From the time before time is what we are looking at here. All right, another short with the dog. Oh yeah, everyone gets to be blue on my channels. I make everybody a moderator so that you can share and you can put links in, and everyone else is able to also click on each other, and you can go to each other's channels and subscribe while simultaneously not worrying that your opinion might trigger someone else's bias and get you deleted. So you can't be deleted. Yeah, that's why I do it. Oh wow. Look at these things. How does nature do that? No, it's not possible. It's not natural. There's more to these than what we are being told. Oh, there's Bernie's sweaty summer face. Let me tell you, it was hot that June day that I was there. And it was also smoky because last year Alberta was on fire for like 5 or 6 months. At least it was ridiculous. Hopefully not the case this year. But yeah, it was ridiculously hot, but beautiful and nice. It was still June. And it was horribly muggy from the forest fire smoke. Yet it's still will forever be one of the most amazing trips I've ever done, and can't wait to go back there this year. If you're in Western North America, or if you're a wealthy benefactor and want to travel, feel free to come be a part of trip number 2 to Writing on Stone Park. So weird, so strange. And what were all? What was all of this? Who made it? When? Why? And what was it? Because I just find it impossible to believe it's natural. Oops. Oops. All right. I call it megalithic. But it was probably built by giants and little people. Yeah, the governments truly did steal all of the Badlands back in the early 1900s and cover them all up. And literally anything labeled a Badlands, I now believe is most likely ancient ruins of a plasma or nuclear past catastrophe, as that's what it seems to be. And everything labeled Badlands is just beyond anomalous, like this site. Like, look, that's a person there. So, for context, and like, this is not even a quarter of the way up the structure on how far down they go. It's wild. These pictures aren't really doing justice to the scale of the size of this place and these formations. Like, could this well, I suspect there's most likely tunnels and possibly caverns and hollow spaces within a lot of these structures. It just has to be. And like, pretty sure I see faces. And pretty sure if you get the right sun angle on those faces, you will actually get shadow 3D definition of the face and the figure that is meant to be, which are shown in it. Like, oh man, that just, it screams Cappadocia to me. Yeah, Naga head, I definitely saw one of them. Oh yeah, gotta be bigger stuff underground. Your brother had 6 fingers. Oh snap, was he a giant? Do you have 2 rows of teeth? This, I see blocks and I see faces and I see structures. And see, it seems like potentially some of these have like a concrete casing that's like put over to kind of hide the blockage, the blocks, the artificialness of the site. Like, yeah, I'm speculating going full conspiracy tinfoil hat there, but you gotta see it to really appreciate what I'm saying and what this site really is. And it's like, this is just a sand bank that's eroding away. Like, it's literally just sand that's eroding away. And then these are stone, sandstone. Very, very strange. Like a different rock here, and it's like how it chips away, how the cleavage of it, how it fractures, and how it essentially erodes. And it's very different than what you're actually seeing making up and composing the majority of the structures. Right? 100% it looks like a lot of the stone used with the Mexican pyramids. I agree. Like it seems like it's half like Mexican style megalithic stone and half like Egyptian style megalithic stone. More potential face. But yes, definitely like the Mexican pyramids, now that you mention it. Especially for all the top structures in rock compared to the bottom more exposed sandstone that looks more like the Egyptian block style. I'm trying to find example of that. See, like what, like melty, eroded, and then blocks. Eroded blocks, corroded blocks, melted blocks. Potential geopolymer layers. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how it was made, but I'm pretty sure that it was made. Like, how do you get this exponentially harder, denser top stone on top of this softer sandstone, and yet they both remain? Like if it was eroded out, like that doesn't make sense. That's a logical fallacy. I just cannot wait to go back here. It is one of the most epic places with so many faces in the rocks that you will ever experience and come across. And like when you climb through these, there's tunnels that go into lots of them, and I I was a bit afraid by myself. I'm not gonna lie. Like I didn't want to fall down like 4 stories of cliff and tunnel to like break a leg and be stuck. And that's why I'm trying to get some of you lovely souls to join me on the next one, so we can go further in, go higher, go deeper, go for longer, and actually find the real hidden secrets within this place. Because there are many. That I can guarantee. It's like this is a plateau, and then it's like there's straight like rock. It's the weirdest formations, and like you can see like this is land, and then it like literally drops down 2-3 times distant. Like hard to explain. It's so strange, so abnormal. And super intriguing. And so here is the beach on the river, and it's the path into the campground in here. And they can see some trailers, cars and tents. It's really nice, like big trees, nice campsites. Highly recommend the place, and highly recommend you join myself and hopefully Gerald and the rest of us that are gonna make it there. That's the people. That's the size, and then like this just drops straight down in its river, like below, but like it's a few 100 feet probably from top to bottom, at least 250 minimum. Just every angle, every picture, every area. Fascinating, anomalous. And looking like something different than what we are told that it is. So strange. So very, very block brick strange. Like, it's just, no, like, it's a stone placed on top of a bunch of blocks. Like, how else? This does make sense. Oh, they're definitely from a different time. And Omagh, Alberta, Canada's Stonehenge is pretty close by to this site. I will also be going there this summer, hopefully, if I'm able to raise the funds. So, if anybody is able to help donate and help get me there, it is appreciated. The more you give, the more places I will be able to go to. And Omagh is on the list. Omagh, Canada's Stonehenge, a medicine wheel star calendar, astrological calendar, dated to 4500 BC, 6500 year age minimum, close by to this site and the Medicine Hat, Badland Guardians, Red Rock Coulee. All here within southern Alberta, very close by. But each a day's trip with fuel, gas, traveling, and all the other expenses involved with it, it adds up very quick. Just seems like it's all blocks. Pretty blocky to me. Polygonal megalithic block work? I suspect so. I suspect so. Potential Sphinx or face. It's gotta be a massive megalithic site. Like, I don't see it being anything but that at this point. So that picture is not in focus. Face potentially. Face potentially. Dome potentially. Like, even these, you can see, like, they look like mud brick. Looks like mud brick. Mud brick block. Mud brick block. Everywhere, just blocks and blocks and blocks. Like block stones, more block stones, more block stones. Blocks upon blocks of blocks of stone. Weeping Rock in Turkey. I will have to take a look. I don't think I've seen that. Like, does this not look like bricks? mud brick, and then potentially covered up, painted or something to make it not look like what it is. Like it's kind of pretty glossy, right? Like for mud brick sandstone, pretty glossy. Was it painted to cover up what it actually is? Like it looks gloopy and gloppy. I suspect so. Very, very interesting site. Someone should send this to John Levi to take a look at. Like, you want some melted buildings? I got you some melted buildings. Right there. We got blocks, we got bricks, and we got potentially melted buildings right here. Let me tell you what. Here's your like Egyptian looking sandstone blocks, of course. Very melted, very vitrified potentially. Oh, here's a little path down to the river. And then what looks like Cappadocia across the water. Literally looks like the Cappadocian freaking mountain hill cities. Pretty sure that's what you're looking at. Interesting overhang up there. Interesting giant bolt megalith there, monolith potentially. Just wild. Very, very suspect. Very suspect. Look at that. And this. And this. And that. And that. And all that. Touch face. Like someone be living in there at some point. If not still living in there. Like, are we looking at little dwarf hobbit apartment complexes? Like, could be. I don't know. Lots of legends of fairies and dwarfs and little people. That looks like Little People Hotel. Like, there's your Little People like balcony. Like, got a nice balcony, some windows, more windows. Oh. And then maybe your giants live back in there. And there. Oh, more Bernie. Oh, is it playing? Oh, there we go. So anomalous. Why was I panning so quickly? Slow down, Bernie. Sorry. Put it back. Try to pause it. What up here? Like that one just that boggles my mind a bit. That's got base, windows, pyramid. Ah, uh, there we go. Right there. Like that looks like a roof of some sort. A definite building. Like what an outcrop. Just that I gotta go investigate. All of this I gotta go investigate. Like look at this stuff. Somebody living there. Again, the scale and magnitude of the size of those structures and formations, not given justice whatsoever. And there we got a little bit of the campground, a little bit more of the Milk River. And it's across the river that we need to go. We need to go explore this place. Blocks and roofs. What else can you call it? Very, very suspect, to say the least. Very strange. Very, very peculiar. Peculiar formations. That's all it is. See that could be natural, although it could be brick and block. But then above we see what doesn't appear to be natural. And appears to be blocks everywhere. Like it looks like it's blocks and then like this melted vitrified or cement cast casing. One or the other, or possibly both simultaneously? Not sure. Very suspect, to say the least. Yeah, it's clearly natural. But then this, that could be a foundation, and who knows what's behind it. Just so suspect. So strange and weird. Like, do we got a pagoda there? Tough to fathom what we're even looking at. Like, are these like skeletons of giants? I don't know. Probably not, but maybe. Very strange. It's like what is tucked back up here, right? Like this is a channel in, and then you've got a whole big formation back there that's hidden and not allowed to be seen. That looks way more suspect. Some of the caves on more block-like, more megalithic giant blocks. But it's on the edge. Want to see down in there? There. Like, what is down in here? Another possible face. What the heck is that? Ruined civilization, I suspect. The ruins of past, former civilizations. To be more precise, because that's the only thing that really makes sense when taking a closer look at what we see here. Just the symmetry it's not natural. It looks burnt, it looks roasted, scorched in many areas. And then, so here you see, right, like black scorching kind of on the outsides, and then this vitrified, dusted, eroding from the top down, right? Like, look at that. It looks like a freaking pagoda. Were these giant rock megalithic homes at some point in time? I suspect so. Oops. Here's like several walls. Yep, looks like walls. And one more time to illustrate, all of these are swift nests. Those are the bird nests built out of mud on the outside of the cliff face, the outside of the rock, right? They're building them out. They're not digging these holes. They're not burrowing in. The birds aren't going in and out of these holes whatsoever. No, they're building exterior mud nests that they go into, not burrowing into the rock. So the holes are not made by birds. That is a straight up lie. See a bunch of holes here? You don't see birds in them. The birds are all going in and out of their exterior nests. Again, close up of the swallow nests. All the swallow nests. More right there. Couple more right there. Whole bunch through here. Under ledges, yeah. On the cliff face, yeah. But burrowing, no. Into the stone, no. They're on the outside and they're building out. Like, this is not swifts. Here's a couple of swifts. Here's a couple of swift nests. The holes, nothing to do with birds. And you don't even see birds necessarily build. Actually, maybe that's what a couple of these could be, are nests that they've made out of existing holes, but they're definitely not making the holes themselves. None of those are bird nests. What they are is anomalous geology. Couple of people. So this guy's getting kind of close to one of the fronts, and you can see how, well, you can't even see the river. The river's way down and it goes around. So that's actually not a good reference. For scale, even the scale is just, the magnitude and scale, it's ridiculous. Insane, the actual size of these things. Yeah, it's got to be at least 6-7 stories. And it doesn't even show the bottom or the base. But you can see these blocks all the way through. Oh, we got more BurnEye. All right, enough of my face. Oh, the beautiful Milk River, and such a beautiful sandy beach there too. You want to come camping. Quantum Epic, good to see you. Troy, Gold Coast Lady, Reality, not what you thought. WPG Enlightened, the Mad Catter. Oh, good to see you. Sorry. Boy, man, Sam, anybody just going through the BurnEye chats. Sorry for those of you in the Crypto Alchemist. Give you a shout out next. But we shall continue the journey further. Shout out to my moms. There's mom sitting on the bench. Saw this with my mom, and even mom by the end was like, BurnEye, I think you're right. This is built, not natural. She was pointing out blocks left, right, and center. Oops. Come on. Is this the right one? We are at the right tab. Oh my God, I've been going for 2 hours and 22 minutes and 22 seconds exactly right now. Ain't that something? But I was only planning on going for like an hour, and we're 2 hours, 22 minutes, 22 seconds in and more now. All right, so Milk River, the Milk River Valley, and the different coulees, and we were here, the hoodoo field along here, right? So you saw some of these hoodoos, and you saw some of these structures across the river. And then there's literally all of those structures, all of these formations and structures, all of these, and way, way, way more that aren't even on this map of how much there is. And look at how this is all in a straight line and then 90-degree. Like, that seems artificial, as does this straight line that continues. Like, how is that? How do they claim it's river cut when it's straight? Like, there's the river, but it keeps going straight all the way, like, and then it continues on up too, and all through here. And see, police coulee. They had to have the police station to overlook and prevent the natives in the area that lived in these and were rebelling and fighting an insurgent out of these structures, this area, their inhabitation. So this is how they claim they're formed. If you believe it, well, that's on you. Right, and there's all these layers that are just naturally there, that it erodes way through some of it, but others it doesn't, and that they don't actually slide off anywhere. And like, that's, it doesn't look like that. It's all like this. Sweetgrass Hills. And them showing the petroglyphs back in the day, I guess. And look at that. Look at how far up we go. Oh, okay. So maybe my 100 kilometers is a little off. Maybe it's 100 kilometers of path, because apparently it's only like 15 kilometers. So gotta be the path, the actual path, 100 kilometers of pathways that I misunderstood here. Interesting. All the teepees out in the open. You'd think they would be utilizing some of the formations, unless they didn't want white man seeing where they actually resided and were like, hey, just check out our teepees. Don't actually know about our underground cities. Maybe. Maybe. All right. Well, we're coming up to 2.5 hours. My God.